All right, everybody. I'll explain probably in other videos. I explain it inside the hex. I bought a 22-foot stacker trailer, and I'll explain why. But today we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. I've only looked at the trailer one time, so we just got it last week. Luck should have it that Jeff from ATC had messaged me. We had done a video or talked or met 4.5 years ago, something like that, when I first got my Trail X and I made my first video of me not knowing how to back the thing up. And so I bought a stacker so that we could go to the mountains and go to the track and things like that with multiple cars. We're towing it with Mike's F-250. And it just so happens that Jeff messaged me. I said, hey, did you know that I got an ATC trailer? And he said, no. And so what's your background or your title with ATC? And what do you guys do, Vince? What do you guys do with ATC?
Yeah, so I'm a product manager at this point. I've done sales and worked with our dealers and all that stuff for quite a few years. But here maybe about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I moved over to the product management side. So working with our consumer products, our stackers, our standard height car haulers, motorcycles, snowmobile, cargo trailers, developing some of that and kind of coming up with some cool new fresh stuff.
And then Vince, what do you do every day?
Product engineer for ATC. As Jeff stated, a lot of the car hauler aspect over consumer TR, so stacker, the cargo trailer, race trailer, and just general car hauler.
So you guys are responsible for making the things, or choosing what is made.
Yes, there you go.
Yep.
Yep. And I'll work probably much more with the feature content of what we want to have in the trailer, what it needs to be like, and then Vince is the smart guy that kind of figures out how to make it all work. Then he'll interface some with production too to make sure that it's designed in a efficient manner that it can be produced in volume and so forth.
So what do I have? What is this?
You have
a race trailer, or
trailer.
what is this thing?
This one's our 22-foot, and this is a very popular size for a guy like yourself, a couple sports cars, but you're not bringing all the tools, all the gear, that stuff. So it's a 22-foot stacker. You have 20 foot behind the cabinets, which is just an absolute perfect size. So it's what we call like a semi-compact stacker.
Because I didn't want all the extra, all the weight, all that came with that, trying to get it into places. And so we wanted to shorten it up because I was looking at double car, but single level, and they're 38 feet long.
Yeah, you get into a big gooseneck at that point. Yeah, so this is a real popular one for two, sports cars or something like that works very well. The great thing about it too, it's all aluminum construction. Everything that ATC does is all aluminum construction. So the trailer itself only weighs 6,950 pounds.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at a steel trailer, you're easily going to be 9,000 pounds. So it works really well for.
So I put my two, towing. Let's say 3,500 pound cars in there. We don't need a three axle, which also creates a little bit more difficulty for turning radius and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so these they put two 7,000 pound axles on here. And then I just feel like it's more doable for like a regular guy.
Yeah, it is.
Instead of having some giant, because the first one I looked at was a 32-foot stacker.
Okay.
And that sucker was a monster. Yeah.
That's a beast.
So notice on the website there's the race trailer line, and then there's the trailer line. Is which one? This is like the RV line, or like how do we classify this?
Yeah, this one's in our RV Enthusiast type product line, which basically means we have some of our stackers divided into like more race oriented, which is 28 and 30 foots where you have more of the racer features. And then we have what's called more of an RV enthusiast category, which is what this definitely falls into, which is the guys who just want to transport some cars, or maybe they go down to Florida and live there for the winter and have all the toys, or go out to California, that sort of thing. But it's not like hardcore racing out of it.
That's me. I mean, we'll go to the track once in a while. But most of it's to take the car to the mountains, just to transport it, to get it there.
Yep.
So where should we start? Should we start in the back? Should we start outside? Let's do the outside stuff. And again, I haven't done my normal thing, which is to obsess. Like when I bought my Trail X years ago, I obsessed over every detail. This one, I knew ATC was the way to go, and I looked at Intech, and I looked at ATC. Those are like the two trailers. I found this brand new. This is a 2021, and I found it in Ohio, and I just bought it.
Perfect.
And I figured I'd figure it out later, and then you messaged me. I'm like, great, I don't even have to figure it out.
this
You'll
is
teach
great.
me everything I need to know
Well,
about
first
it.
off, you made a great choice, and thank you for choosing ATC. That's great.
I'm excited for this thing. But first of all, I mean, it's way nicer.
Yeah.
Like, no BS with you guys being here.
Yeah.
Like, I expected it to be bare bones.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at some of these $150,000 trailers.
Yeah.
I expected it to have basically nothing.
Yeah.
And then when I got it, I'm like, holy crap, this is legit.
Yeah, no, this is a really popular option content for us. I mean, it has lots of goodies, lots of features, lots of things that people just really want.
Yeah.
We don't do a whole lot of the bare bones stackers. So this, what you have is right in our main wheelhouse.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, we'll start around the outside here anyway. You've got a 36-inch door. 36-inch door works really well. If you get into the longer stackers, then you get maybe a bigger door and so forth. But for a 22-foot, again, a semi-compact type trailer, 36-inch door works great. And then it's got a slide-in, slide-out step. One of the things, this is a step that we developed in-house probably about 10 years ago or so. One of the things I really like about it is that it's, as you can tell, it's quite strong.
Yeah.
The other thing that's nice, there's no clips, because most steps have like a clip over here. You have to push it in, you clip it,
Okay.
and then you go over here and you clip it. But this just has a gas shock, so you just slide it in, slide it out.
Okay.
And when you're done, you just put it in, and the gas shock holds it in.
So it's not going to pop out
No,
on
it
you when
won't
you're
pop
driving
out.
down the road.
Yep.
That's cool.
Back to the door, this is an ATC built door. We build all of these in-house. It has a piano hinge along the side here. The extrusion that we use allows for the fasteners to go onto the inside of the door frame.
Okay.
And what that does is makes it a little bit more secure, and you don't have to look at all the screws or the rivets or anything like that around outside. It just cleans it up.
So the latches.
Here.
So okay,
It's got
so
a door. It's got a door hold back here just to hold it and pin it.
Okay. So, anything special? I noticed you slammed. So, is it a close? We were trying to figure out, should I close it like this, or is it a slam? Is there a disadvantage?
I'd slam it myself.
Okay.
I mean, it's a robust door. It also, if you look at it, I mean, it doesn't have any like
Flex.
tweaking to it or flex like a lot of the other doors out there. Whoop whoop whoop,
Yeah.
it kind of moves. So just give it a good hard slam and it'll shut well.
Gotcha. And then I
It
got
has
the
our
keys.
upgraded latches. Yep.
So dual locks.
Yep.
What's the purpose? Why do trailers always do that?
This one here is the lock that locks the paddle, and then this is a deadbolt. So,
Okay.
we do definitely suggest that you have it deadbolted when you're traveling down the road, just to ensure.
So
nothing
if I
crazy.
lock the outside, if I lock this latch, I've got to unlock it from the outside. But if it's just dead bolted, I could unlock it from the inside only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Very good.
And so this latch is
yeah.
what holds it. I would
Yep.
have never even noticed that.
Yeah, and what's nice too is it's a aluminum latch, so it's not going to break. It's anything like that.
Yeah.
Works really well there. Another one of the features you'll see if you look at the outside of the trailer, you can see how it kind of tapers down near your axles. We use what's called a spread axle, which means we spread them. It's about 8 inches farther than what typical industry standard is.
Okay.
And what that does is it does a couple things. Number one, it scoots out your axle center, so it gives you, the customer, more flexibility in terms of where you put your cars in there,
Okay.
so that you're not going to overburden the tongue weight.
Okay.
So it gives you a bigger area that you can put your car in to still allow the axles to carry the weight.
Okay.
The other thing it does is an aesthetic thing. Because you scoot it out 8 inches, it gives you room to put this nice, big, beautiful fender box in here that comes down. And it gives it that lean, mean look, more like the NASCAR transporters and things like that. And that's something we developed about 10 years ago, and it's taken off quite well across the industry.
So power here. So since we're out here talking about the power plug, there's a 50 amp surge. So I have the 50 amp option, but I'm not going to have access to that very often. We'll get into the batteries when we get inside, but to do 110 volt, I need to make the 50 amp connection.
Yeah.
So if I plug in now that it hooked up to the truck, I'm not going to be able to plug in a hairdryer.
Right. To be able to have that, you're either going to have to plug into shore cord, a 50 amp power up off the front, or you'll have to have a generator. Now there's cheater plugs that you can put on. So if you only have 30 amp service, you can put a cheater plug to get you from 50 down to 30.
Okay.
And you can plug it into 30.
But that's either at the track or RV, like an RV park,
Yeah.
which I'm not going to be doing very often. Got it.
But a lot of guys are using, it's a 3,000 watt generator or something like that. Vince and I were out at the racetrack yesterday, and
Yeah.
That's about what everybody and their brother has out there.
So tell me about lighting, the exterior lighting, and how what's the methodology there?
So yeah, these are running off of your battery right now and so forth, but it just gives you a little bit of exterior light. A lot of guys like it over here on the curb side of the trailer, the passenger side anyway. You know, if you got tables set up at night or you've got a recreation area out here, some of those lights work really well, and they're actually quite bright too. It's hard to see during the day, but at night they light up quite well.
Yeah, and then you have your normal cornering or turn lights on the exterior as well.
Yep.
Now, since we're up front here, you know what I want, right? No diamond plate. So I want the no diamond plate option. Is that an option on the trailers?
Vince and I were chuckling about that because we went back through the notes and thought, oh yeah, that's right.
This is Corvette dad mode here. I want no freaking diamond plate.
That's right.
Is there some remarkable advantage of diamond plate that I don't know about other than for aesthetics?
The big advantage is this is the most prone place to pick up rocks and chips, especially when you got some aggressive tires like you have. You'll probably pick up some rocks and chips. The advantage to aluminum tread plate or ATP is that once it hits, you pick up a rock, you don't really see it because of the texture, and it's a thicker material. And we've done it before where you don't have that, and it looks beautiful when you take delivery.
Yeah.
But you know, you're going to start getting dings all over here, and it just
So then we have a weight distributing hitch that we're going to put on here.
Good.
And so Mike actually has had some. We're going to have to. We're doing a waist safe weight distributing.
Okay.
Is that necessary when I'm loaded up to say 12, 13,000 pounds?
I would probably suggest it. It seems like that's a good way to build some more stability in your toe.
So when you blast by a semi, you don't get that sway.
You'll probably still get a little bit of that suction where it kind of pulls you in a little bit, but no, that'll definitely help give you a little bit more stability, especially with the wheelbase.
And then we talked. He may have talked to you, but they talked to some engineer at ATC when we called the 800 number, and they said, yeah, you can just we're going to weld the waist safe bracket to it.
Okay.
And they said that the tongue was robust enough to be able to do that because it's so much bigger. This is so much bigger and more robust and taller than the waist safe bracket is too short. And so we're going to modify and make it look good.
Yep.
But for towing, Mike says it tows great. I mean, it's been towing just off of the regular waist safe hitch.
And this does have our 2x8 mains on it, which is the biggest mains that we use.
All aluminum.
All aluminum.
Yeah.
Yep.
No wood.
No, okay. I mean there's some wood in the floor that we have to use to make sure that the rubber coin will adhere, because the rubber coin doesn't adhere down to aluminum. Okay. So there is a wood floor product that we use in there to go ahead and adhere the coin rubber down.
All right, so let's go inside. Let's open up the side here. We'll open up the rear. We already opened this up. Let me see.
I'll get the rear going here.
All right, so first thing I noticed in the rear, which really excites me, what are those two rollers underneath the thing for?
Oh, those are the bogey wheels. And those are basically to help protect the frame. So if you're pulling out of that Burger King parking lot and it's got that steep angle, the beauty of it is that it's going to be rolling on your stainless steel caster wheels rather than grinding up the whole back of your trailer. But we also put on here a skid plate. Okay. So just in case you would ever hit anything, it's going to grind down.
So the trailer will kind of sit up on those wheels and just roll. Or I guess it'd be like this. It would roll out. It would lift the rear end up instead of getting
It'll just help,
stuck.
So, and those are really nice. We did some testing on that as well. There's different ones that, pivot and turn, but those break off. These we've been using these for quite a while now. They're quite successful.
So now the door.
Yes.
The door is, how do you open it?
We've got the stainless steel paddle latches over here. Okay. These engage into the door, and that's what holds it shut and engages the door seal.
And then I should get a combination or some sort of padlock.
You'll want to have a little padlock or something on there that you want. But this is 180 degrees, so you have to go all the way up to disengage.
Okay.
And then at that point, you can go ahead and lower it down.
Is it counterweighted with the... the whole door, this door doesn't just drop on me. It feels super smooth and light.
It's not all that terribly heavy either. I mean, my wife will even drop a ramp door sometimes and so forth, but it's got a spring assist on it, so it's kind of like a garage door spring. It goes up into there, which helps alleviate a lot of the weight and makes it nice and manageable.
Got it.
So as long as the spring assist is set properly, which we of course do, it's very manageable, but if it isn't set right, it can still be really heavy or go up, but we have them.
Now, is there a reason why they don't skin the back Is it for looks, or is there a purpose for that?
Skin the back, you mean with
the white, you know?
Oh, well, on this one, what we do is this one has the stainless steel. That's just an upgrade. It gives it a little bit cleaner, cool look that people
so
like.
It's for aesthetics,
yeah,
not necessarily
aesthetics.
for, okay.
Yep.
So then I'll show you some ramps that I'm planning on using.
Okay.
But you know, to get my GT3 or get my lowered car up here, obviously we don't have enough room to fit because of the dumpster, but we're gonna actually pull it forward and load a car in. But you generally need some sort of extension.
Yeah, well, it depends what type of car you have and what you're putting in. But yeah, a lot of guys would put longer extensions on or something like that too.
Do the race trailers have something built in for that, or is it always somebody using an approach ramp?
Yeah, when in our race division or our race stacker models, it does have, Vince, what is it, 5 foot, 6 foot?
It varies somewhere around 44 to 54.
Okay, 44 to 54 in terms of the length of the extension. So,
Gotcha. Because this is the RV line, most people are having like a normal, not some crazy car.
Yeah. What
But
we try to put the features in that are required,
Yep.
but we also don't want to over deliver,
Got
because
it.
if we put this big, huge, ramp extension on and customer X doesn't need it,
useless weight.
it's just
yeah.
a waste.
And so, what is this material? So, is this a wooden core door?
Yeah, well, the door is all aluminum construction, so it's built on like a 2-inch by 2-inch frame construction, and then we put on it's a plywood with a backer on it that helps keep any moisture or anything like that out of it. So it's done really well for us there.
Because I noticed there's no flex.
Yeah,
like
no,
the door
it's
isn't
robust.
bowing.
Yeah. And then over top of that, it's a rubber coin TPO that we use. What's nice is there's lots of different rubbers out there, but this one has been tremendously successful. And part of it has a fabric skim on the back, on the underside of it. So when you actually glue this down, it's solid. So it does very well. And then as you can see, the little coin up here has traction on it too.
Yeah.
So that way your tires don't spin even in the rain. If you're coming down, it still has what feels some pretty good traction.
So then the coolest thing about any stacker is the lift.
Yes.
Right? So this has an all aluminum, pretty insane lift.
Yeah, this is the lift that we developed in-house, engineering department. Vince and all of his crew, I'm sure, had their fingerprints all over this, but this is, I think I can say pretty easily, the best aluminum lift that's out there on the market today.
Yeah.
Some of the advantage of it, number one, it's a 6,000 pound rated lift. So most lifts are going to be 4,000 pounds, but we didn't want to have to vacillate back and forth. Is it a 4 or a 6? So we just developed them all for a 6,000 pound capacity. The other advantage is it's not very tall, which helps lower clearance cars go up. Most of them are 5 inches.
Yeah.
We got this down to, I think it's like 4 1/4, somewhere in there. It is all aluminum. It does have a small steel chassis on the underside. Not chassis, just a support beam, which helps get us the 6,000 pound rating. But then you'll see too, it has airline track that's built into the extrusion that goes the entire way around the lift. And then, so you have multiple tie down points. And some people use this for, you put a whole bunch of Harleys up here. You can put a sports car up here. You can do all kinds of different things.
Put your Christmas decorations in your car underneath.
There you go. You can move Aunt Polly next weekend, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you recommend, we were thinking about this just to drop some weight, like for my car, just take the 2 center panels out, put them inside.
Yeah.
I mean, these things probably weigh 50 pounds a piece, drop 100 pounds off the back of the trailer.
And that's another thing we did in the design of this is some people were adamant they want a split rail lift. And some people said, oh, no, I absolutely have to have a full floor lift. And so what we did is we made the best of both. It's a full floor when you want it, and when you don't, it's a split rail. And so these easily pop out, and then, if you need to access underside your car, you need to pull an engine, anything like that, you've got the mechanics to do it.
So I noticed that the floor, and so we have our tie down points on here, and also up on the top here. These are not the traditional rails. These are what, a turn-in rail? I mean, what's that called?
This is airline track, and so there's different types of hardware that you can get for For this, I'd probably suggest like a triple stud airline track. So you can see in here, we've got these little dime-sized holes. There's a tie-down track that will actually incorporate into 3 of those holes.
Okay.
So you have a lot more strength that way. But that's one of the more popular ones that we use.
Got it. We have outlets. If
Yep, you got outlets
if we're going to
there.
connect our 50 amp service.
Yep.
So when you're going to operate the lift, notice that there's 2 points.
Yeah,
So
2
when,
points.
When I got it, was plugged in up front here.
Yep.
The lift is plugged in, but the
Yep.
lift doesn't need 50 amps. It doesn't need
nope,
a
it's
regular
a 12
service.
volt system, so it's an electric over hydraulic. We do use a chain in there as well to help provide extra strength to it. But the way that it works, the coolest feature of it too is it's a tilt lift.
Okay.
I'm not aware that anybody else has a tilt lift, but that's the reason we developed a tilt lift is so you can get your low clearance cars on much better. So it's just push button, you lift it up, and then once you get it above that front area there, you can hear it click,
Okay.
and then you can go ahead and lower it, and then it lowers the back, but the front stays up there. And then if you don't want to tilt it, then you just have to hit
Just
the
blow
red
the locks.
button,
Yeah.
hit the red button, and then lower it, and that releases the dogs up there essentially, so the whole thing will come down flat.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, so you get about a 4-degree, I think it was 4, wasn't it, Vince? 4. Yeah, about 4-degree angle that you actually achieve with this.
So I use my little approach ramps, and I've got a nice smooth. I can bring
Yep.
my lowered M3 up here and not have to scrape or put.
Yep.
I think I can probably get up there without any ramps at all because that looks pretty seamless. All right, so the any recommendations on how you set your? How do you not run the car into the roof?
Yeah, if you've got 2 sports cars, you should be good. Now, if you want to put a Tahoe and something else on there, that's where we'll probably get a little bit more dicey.
Could you put a Tahoe in this thing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It would physically, that more people put that in like a 26-foot unit, and something like that. But 22, you'd be a little bit short.
But I mean, weight-wise, it could accept.
Well, it depends what you put on the top. I think the payload on this one was right around 8,500 pounds.
Okay.
So it just depends what all you have to put in there and so
A
forth.
Miata and a Tahoe.
There you go.
So we'll move the lift up here when we're gonna put my car in here and show people how to do that. I'm gonna learn how to do that. So we have our light switches, on-off switches, and you have 3-way switches, right?
Yep.
So
Yep. So that way you can open it either way.
front and the back. Why carpet? What's the purpose there?
Carpet is on there because it really protects the walls. And the thing is when we noticed with our service department, when trailers would come back after 5 years or 10 years, and some of them get used pretty hard, like all of the damage is from here down. You know, when you're damaging your walls, you're really not messing much up there. So if you create a way to protect the bottom like 40 inches that we have there, it makes your trailer look new a lot longer. It protects your car doors when you open it, anything like that. So it protects your car, but it really helps protect the look of the trailer then too.
So you guys framed everything's out.
Yeah.
Everything's framed out, and then what is is this aluminum material?
Yeah, aluminum material. One thing that'll be important for you and other customers to know too is we do put everything on screwless. So I'll show you over here, but you can see where the overlapping panel. This is not a good example. We'll go here. It's a 49-inch sheet. Okay. So it's a 49-inch sheet of aluminum, and so sometimes customers want to know where our studs are.
Yeah.
The best way to do it is to go to the middle of the trailer where we're at, and it's going to be right behind this. And then you measure 16 inches, and it gets you right back over here to another panel. Okay. So the studs are going to be behind the overlapping seams and then just 16 inches in. If you ever do need to access, you want to hang something.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could screw in with a little sheet metal screw or something?
Yeah, a little sheet metal screw. Some people put like door caddies on there for all your oils and stuff like that.
So you could do that if you wanted to. So then the fenders are also aluminum.
Yeah, aluminum.
This fenders, we'll open this door in a minute.
Yeah.
This fender's removable, this one's not.
Correct. Only that one is removable. And the reason why is so that way once you open up our premium escape door, you can take the fender off. And the big benefit is when you're loading your lower car. So we'll envision the lift is all the way up and you're driving your bottom car on.
Yep.
you're sitting in here in your car, you can't open your door over top of the fender box.
Yep.
So what we do is we give you a door that opens up,
Yep.
and then you take the actual fender out, which saves about 4 inches of clearance.
Got it.
And now your car door
Can
will
open
open easily over top of the rubber of the tire.
Yep, got it. Ceiling's the same material. We have ample, crazy amounts of lights. What do you think? What's the engineering testing like? How long could you run these lights on your? There's 3 batteries in here.
Does this one have 3?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have to look at the manual to confirm.
Like, do I have to think about? Like, do I have to worry about the lights going out? Like in, a couple hours maybe.
Oh no,
A
Yeah.
lot longer than that.
significantly longer than a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And there's also solar chargers. If you ever wanted, you could put a solar charger on the top or something too, so that way you'd actually be charging off of that too.
Like-
but whenever you're running down the road, you're actually charging.
Yeah.
Or anytime you plug in your 50 amp, it's tied into a converter that actually charges your battery at that point too.
Got it. So then, let's see, what else do I have a question? What is the, so that's the hydraulic shaft, which is horizontal instead of vertical.
Yeah.
And so what role does that play in the lift's construction?
I'll probably yield that one to Vince.
Come in here, Vince.
Yeah,
Tell us
yeah.
about how the thing works.
So the horizontal hydraulic cylinder is electrical or hydraulic. We're going to bring our power through our hydraulic cylinders, and then we're going to go to a mechanical linkage on the chain. And then we use the chain to basically balance everything as we go with 4 points of security as you lift.
So there's no hydraulic on the passenger side.
That's
only
correct.
on the driver's side.
Yes. So the road side does all of the primary structural support, whereas this is the balancing. Then we use the chain to balance everything out equally.
Now, I'm assuming that weighs a lot. How does the trailer not lean over? Is it counterweighted on this side somewhere?
It balances very well.
Yeah, got it. So then the cabinet structure, the cabinets are set up here. They're all
Yep.
aluminum as well.
Yep.
Is there a reason why you didn't put separators?
We were just out at the racetrack yesterday, and different people prefer it in different ways. And we were interviewing customers, trying to learn what they like, what they don't like. And half the guys out there were saying, "Man, I just love how wide open the cabinet is because you can put things in, you can get longer things in there."
Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't put dividers in there anyway.
Got it. Well, it saves weight, right?
Yeah.
And then this is our AC/DC converter box.
Yep.
Or
You got your breaker box, and then you got your power cutoff. So that way, when you're getting ready to head out and you want to make sure all your power is killed, flip the switch and it'll cut all the power for you.
batteries here.
Yep.
What about a winch on this type of trailer? Is it just wide enough it's not necessary? What's the thought process there?
A lot of people would use a winch. A lot of people don't. It just kind of depends on more what your preference is. And I think on your Trail X,
I had a
using-
winch because
yeah.
that was a lot smaller than
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
So it was really tight to get in and out of.
You kind of had to on that. With this, you've got that nice wide ramp door. It's a one-person job pulling in. It makes it really easy.
Yeah.
So you can pull in or you can winch if you want. It does have winch prep up here in the sense of a plate that's welded in.
Got
You'd
it.
have to wire it in.
Yep.
We do offer on some, a winch that's actually integrated into it. But like I said, we don't want to over complicate a unit that if
Yeah.
someone's not going to use a winch, they don't want to pay for a winch.
Agreed.
So.
What do I do about this? So the trailer's going to sit 95% of the time in the year. Do I want to put a trickle charger or some sort of tender? Is there an ATC recommendation for that? What do I do for that?
We suggest just a battery maintainer, just low voltage.
Got it. Just like a C-Tech or a NOCO or something like that. Just so I would actually connect it to the batteries and then run the extension cord out. Is there a direct plug-in somewhere that I'm going to screw up, or should I just come right on top of the batteries?
I would go right to the battery.
And so each battery would need its own?
No, they're all chained together, so you could use one terminal post, or you can go to the contact primary over there and connect.
Got it. Okay, that was one of the things I was wondering. So here's my secondary hookup here for if I wanted to operate the lift from the front of the trailer.
Yep.
You have 4-point tie downs as well as the track system tie down, right?
Yep.
And then I guess let's put the lift up so we can look underneath it.
Okay.
I'm going to show people what that looks like. And then we'll try to put a darn car in it.
There actually are wireless winches that are or controls that you could use, and we actually were developing when we were looking at, do we want it to be wireless? Do we not? We chose we really want it to be wired, which ensures that you are intimately engaged with the operation that you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not out back behind the unit, not paying attention. You are here. It's just an important safety factor then too.
So the side door could be open or closed when you're operating the lift.
Yep.
We could have our center tracks or our center pads off, so we could change the oil if you wanted to.
Yep. Exactly.
So it is still, even though this is not the race trailer, it's still very racetrack usable.
Absolutely.
And so then I'm 6'2", and I can walk unimpeded all the way down. So here's our steel beam. This is one of the few pieces of steel. Oh yeah. And then we have lights. That's pretty smart.
Yeah. We put that in standard, so it doesn't matter what you get. You're always going to get those LED lights because otherwise it gets pretty dark under here. And what guy's going to want to say, no, I don't need to see underneath the lift. So hey, they always come with the strip lights.
Especially if if you're traveling and there's your secondary race cars up there, or or you have storage, you have stuff like. We're going to use this trailer some for events.
Okay.
And so we'll have a car under, or maybe a car over, and all of our product underneath or above. We'll figure out what makes sense.
Yep.
That was a question. Where do you put the spare? Where do people put those?
Spare, it depends. Some people put it in their truck, because that way it's always easy. Some people, you could put it in the attic, but then it might be a little bit more problematic to get to it. We do have some where they would have like an in-floor compartment. When you get into the longer trailers where there's more real estate in the floor, we could put it in the floor. But on this one, maybe just your truck or anywhere up here on the floor.
Where do you buy? You buy a spare from your dealer?
You can get it from your dealer. You can call the ATC parts department. Either one would certainly be able to help you.
Now, side door. Let's show people how this thing works and what the story is.
Let's do that here. Probably, I find it easiest to do it from the outside.
Okay. So this style or this version of the trailer, is there an optional bimini top, or is that only for the bigger version?
You mean like an awning type thing or something? Yeah. I mean, you could get an awning or something to that extent as well.
So is that an ATC thing, or is that an aftermarket thing generally?
It would be. We use suppliers and so forth that we would use, but yeah.
So you could call ATC parts department and they could outfit you with a.
Exactly.
And then there's on the outside as well, there's 16-inch on center studs that you could mount to.
Yep. So once you get the door open, basically you take the fender out.
Oh, so the door secures the fender? Or is the fender just kind of sitting in there?
That just rests in there. But when the door comes down, it has a channel on it up here, which actually allows for it to go ahead and do that.
Got it.
We also have some straps here that.
They're our cotter pin style.
Yeah. We suggest putting these on then once it, if it's a windy day or something like that, just to help ensure that doesn't blow down on you.
So it's piston assisted and then beam secured, or whatever you want to say that.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
And this is like 7.5 feet, something like that.
Yep, very good. And so then, do you have your tape on your vents? Yeah. So, like I said, once you're pulling your car in here, before the fender was riding about this high, and so now your car door isn't going to open it. But now all of a sudden you're sitting right here at about 7.5 inches or so.
Got it.
So you'll be able to open car doors over it and so forth.
This is genius right here.
There you go. And the thing that we found too is, people, who are using these, people aren't getting younger, and so it just makes it so easy to get in and out of your car.
Brakes.
Yeah, brakes on each axle. This one has a 16-inch wheel, so you get the bigger brake drums, all that stuff as well.
These are surge, or these are hydraulic assisted?
It's electric drum brake.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
And these are the G-rated tires then too, so you've got good rubber on there.
Now, the thing I also noticed is like our trailer's sitting crooked right now. It's sitting
Okay.
a little off center. I noticed that there are 4 jacks, leveling jacks, and then I also noticed in the cabinet it comes with a a tool.
The crank is for specifically, it's a pod style jack, so you can go ahead and crank it down. I forget whether it's 2,000 or 3,000 pound rated.
3,000.
What?
3,000.
3,000 pound rated. Okay, so the basic idea with that is so that if you are loading and you're not hooked to your tow vehicle, it just makes sure that you're extra stable. So it's just a good safety factor to go ahead and just crank those down. Just make sure the trailer's not going to move on you.
Or if you're at the track and you're sitting on an angle, you can kind of level out your trailer and get it set up.
Yep. It doesn't really level it as much as stabilize it. So it's more of a stabilizer type jack. Yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing we didn't talk about on the tongue, it's a motorized.
Oh yeah. This has the hydraulic jack on it as well. So it's just touch button. You can go ahead and raise and lower it. The jack is actually just back there behind the front wall anyway, so you don't see it back there, but it's just back behind the front wall. Raise and lower the jack from there.
So that's something that, let's say you were hooked to the truck. You're nervous about someone stealing it. You could put the thing down on the jack down on the ground and lock it.
Yeah. Yep. That'd be another little safety precaution you'd have as well too.
Or even if it's not hooked up to the truck. That was one thing we were worried about. I had it here the other night sitting out here, and we could just lock that and they're not going anywhere with it. They'll mess it up, but
but there's also some coupler locks and stuff like that you can get that you can actually put on there, which would help with that as well too. So
I was just worried day one, sitting out here. We were at my house doing a project. Day one, I was worried about it getting jacked.
Yeah, exactly.
What else are we missing? These are like 13.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Legal limits 13.6, so we build them strategically to right around 13.5. Make sure you're going to go under the bridges and so forth.
Yeah.
You can't see it up there, but there is a one-piece aluminum roof.
Okay.
So there's no seams in it. It's just like one big long. We take it off of a coil.
Yeah.
So this one's 22 foot long. We probably get a 22.5 foot section of it, cut it off. And custom build it and form it to your roof.
All right, so normal procedure for loading, you put the door down. I'm going to show you the ramps that I'm planning on using. We'll see if they work. You take the fender off.
Yep.
Kind of open up the side, so then you're ready to go. You might as well open up the front, have the whole thing open, turn all your lights on. Now we're ready to load.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think let's load my GT3 on the lift. I want to see how that goes.
Sounds fun.
Let's see if we can figure it out. So I'll go find we'll pull the truck up, give us some room, and we'll get the car and figure out how to get it on here. That'll be fun. I don't like this. That's some good OCD freak out therapy for me right there. That's cool. That's what I signed up for. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so that's it. You just bring the tongue up and then
the tongue up.
Gets us
now,
out.
if you get long ramp, the race ramps
that's
or something,
what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Then you probably wouldn't need to do that whole raising the tongue thing. But
well, and the advantage of the race ramps is they're a lot lighter than these are too.
Yeah,
so
true.
we could just strap them right to the side. That's what I was thinking.
Yep. And the other thing too is, we do have another ramp like on our race variant of our stacker that comes with the longer ramp standard. So that'd be something we could do too.
Well, again, same thing with tie downs. Once you develop your procedure, then you just wham bam, just
Then it's easy breezy.
Yeah.
Looks good in there.
Yeah. All right, let's put it up in the air.
Is it in far enough here, or how?
We got to bring it up about 6 or 8 inches.
Yeah.
It's so hard. This thing lurches so bad. It's so hard to. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. You don't want to sit in the trailer riding high, Mike. You got to put the lift down. Get that sucker looking good, looking tight. Oh yeah, I can come right out here. What do you do if you're an old man? All right, so yeah, this thing I'm telling you, man, it's way nicer than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was buying the bare bones trailer, and that's the one thing that's really clear with me, that's become clear to me, that the ATC stuff, even just the base package, this has a few accessories, but I mean, even looking at the accessory options, like these come pretty well equipped, pretty well set up. So some of the things I'm going to chase, we talked about in my office, I'm going to chase ramps. We figured out a procedure to put the car in. I think that's something that's important to note, is that everybody, when you get your cars, if you have 2 or 3 cars, you want to figure out what's the procedure for getting it installed. So I wanted to, although you guys were cringing, I wanted to show the people, here's what you go through. When you're putting your car that has a certain height onto your trailer, you have to kind of figure out what will work. So we determined we need some longer ramps. We also determined that lifting the tongue up made us get right on. The other thing I'm going to figure out is a jack and how I'm going to strap that to it. So we talked about some of those things, but I'm excited. This thing is, Mike says it tows super smooth. And we're going to load it up with some cars in a week and a half and figure out what it's like.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you've got a great car to go in there. My goodness, it'll be fun seeing you guys out there at the track.
It's going to be awesome. So I'm going to figure out straps. We're going to figure out our ramps, and then we'll share with the audience. And I'm going to continue to work with Jeff and the team at ATC to help develop trailers as you guys continue to chase, making them. I don't know how much better it could get, but I think that there's always room to figure things out.
Always room, you bet.
The other thing that Jeff made me aware that this is the sort of the jack of all trades stacker. There is a race stacker. It's just longer than I wanted. The race stacker has like really long ramps and has some additional things. So make sure you check that out if you're interested in an ATC trailer. Maybe someday we'll get one of those down here and test that out.
Let you test that out, and lots of further information on atctrailers.com, all that fun stuff. But
cool.
Whatever we can.
And then we'll be doing some more stuff together to kind of share with the world how awesome these trailers are. So thanks for watching, everyone. Jeff, thanks for coming down, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yep.